he's a big fan. So that's going to be coming out Monday, July 18th on FX. So
Nice.
that's going to be a big deal. Yeah, and from what
isn't that the one that had to have its billboards taken down because people thought they were too gruesome?
Probably. It's a Del Toro movie. He's the king of monster movies.
There was the I think if it was the promotional poster with sort of the little worm coming out of the eye.
Yes, yes.
And there was a billboard
exactly
somewhere in the nation that had that.
Someone lost their shit over that.
And apparently some people didn't like seeing that hovering over the highway while they were in rush hour traffic, so they had to take it down.
Well, that's actually a thing that has happened a couple of times, even with like commercials and stuff.
Right.
There was, I forget I think it might have been Dr. Scholl's. There was a thing about foot fungus. You remember the commercial where there's a little cartoon germ walking around and there's a foot and it pops a toenail up like it's a car hood and like everyone lost their mind over that.
But there wasn't like any blood in there, was it?
It was totally cartoony and totally not gruesome at all. But just the it wasn't even a thing at first. But this continual rising buzz of people complaining about. Think about that.
Suck it up.
Ripping your toenail off, though. Has that ever happened to you? It's a horrible thing. So.
Yeah.
That's happening, but The Strain's going to happen on FX. That's going to be fun. ABC has something weird going on that I usually don't subscribe to.
Wait. You're subscribing?
No, not subscribe. Normally I don't like this stuff. And I'm going to prepare you guys right now. Guys, I'm about to talk about a reality show.
Oh dear God, I'm done. See you guys. Have a good night. We'll see you later. This is podcast.
Reality show, Dungeons and Dragons.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Okay.
Here's the show.
What?
It's on ABC. It is called The Quest. That's the name of the show, and it is
what?
Got the producers of Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Of The Amazing Race.
Okay.
Coming together, and they're doing this thing where they take these people, they throw them into a full-on medieval environment, and they go through challenges and shit, and there's this whole actual plot line written out by people who worked on Lord of the Rings, and there's monsters, there's animatronics, there's prosthetics, there's mocap, there's all this stuff going on, and it actually looks like real people get thrown into a medieval role-playing game.
Okay, there's two things I'm like. First of all, that sounds really cool. First of all, I'm glad that you did that. However, the second thing is, are you saying that there's CG in this?
I don't know.
Because if it is, then that's not reality because it's a production.
From what I understand, they're actually using state-of-the-art projections. From what I'm seeing here. It's apparently supposed to be a completely immersive experience for the people involved.
Okay.
It's got projections, animatronics, prosthetics, mocap, and...
Yeah, mocap is where I'm getting skeptical the most, because that would mean that...
But I do know for a fact that there are scenes that the audience, like the viewers, see that the participants do not.
So the audience kind of... So, what I think that would be interesting is if the audience could control what would happen, with the audience kind of being the dungeon master, in a sense.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That would
if we could vote on, what happened next.
Yeah.
You'd get all the geeks in the world to be like, we want dragons.
And that's actually not technology that's not that far off, because ABC has another show going on right now. I forget the name of it, but it's like the big...
Isn't it the wall, you vote and the wall goes up?
Yeah. If they just text in, and if enough people vote positively for them, then they get to advance.
See, the one thing I hate about shows like that. Okay, here's a mini rant. The thing that I hate about shows like that is the fact that a lot of times you have to have cable, you have to show when it's premiering, you have to be there in this time frame to actually participate. for people like me who don't have cable,
The show is not for you, period.
It's like...
It's only functional as a live show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very time sensitive.
That's something that sucks, because, like, you're then, like, watching the show, and then you're like, oh, these people are voting, and it's like, I'm just gonna crumple this up and throw it out the window then. Because at that point, when are we going to get to the time period where it's like, okay, so you have a week to vote. For those people who are on live stream where it goes up the hour after that it actually debuts, like, when are we going to get something that, say, the streamers can partake in? And that's something...
Yeah,
like,
that's actually a whole different culture, because if that's the case, if you have a week to vote on, they can only air the show once a week.
Yeah.
Which kills TV. You can't actually do that with TV. It is really for a baked-in TV audience.
Wait. You're saying that we can't air shows once a week, but that's how people air shows?
Not shows, but they have, like, the competition continues constantly. And what they've done something with this particular show.
They're producing episodes. They air a show once a week, but they're producing the further episodes within that week.
Sometimes, yes. And with this particular show, it's weird that it actually airs at two different times, one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. And they were talking about how the voting has to happen during that show, and how it would normally kill the people for the West Coast. But with this, I don't know exactly which technology. They did a special on it, which I didn't watch. But there's I didn't watch that one, because this actually wasn't the show I was talking about in the first place. But they have votes for both coasts, and in the East Coast show, the people didn't make it. But then when the West Coast got to vote, they pushed them over the edge. So there were like two people that wouldn't have made it that did, because they've finally gotten around to do that. Because I know they've had the voting for American Idol forever, but they're trying something new with this whole live thing on ABC. And I know that's kind of the idea. It's a live event. You have to be there to participate. It's not like something you can just watch later. If you want to be involved with this, you need to show up and be involved.
That's it. I'm done. I'm sticking with my anime. Screw it.
Well, there's that.
Fuck reality. Fuck reality.
Reality gives us things to do. We got.
Yeah, you got to actually go somewhere and do something. But the show that I was talking about, the Quest, doesn't have. There's no voting. That's kind of a spin-off that we did, but there's no voting involved with this. It looks interesting in its own little way.
Yeah.
So this would probably be one of the only reality shows I would actually care to watch, but that's just from watching the previews and reading the stuff. It's possible that they could do this in a cheesy fashion that won't work. So I'm gonna give it a shot, where I would never give another reality show a shot anyways, because normally...
Actually, there was one reality show that I did watch for a while, and it was on Sci-Fi. It was where they took the modern day and then the...
Oh, that... Different Worlds or something like that?
It was called something like that, Different Worlds. But it was really interesting, because people were in this futuristic setting, and then there was this, like, caveman setting. And people had to figure out how to interact with that. That was interesting, because it wasn't so much, like, at that point, a reality show, as much as it was, watch the psychological behavior.
It's kind of like that. And there was the other thing on the Sci-Fi Channel that was, it was like a post-apocalyptic sort of thing. And they had to, like, get around and survive.
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever.
I know that one, yeah.
And they had, like, actors that were, like, raiders and stuff like that. So...
Wait, what was this?
I forget what it was called. It was
I
like
know
the
what
Colony.
you're talking about.
It might have been the Colony.
Or something
I was gonna say, because if it is the Colony, it was still scripted, but it was kind of reality, where it was like, okay, what would happen if everything you knew just disappeared? And then they gave people, like, the choice to find water and, like, to interact with making their own government. What would happen if, say, everything we knew right now just kind of went to shit, and then it was like 20 people got to decide our fate? I wouldn't quite consider that reality TV, though.
Well,
because that was entirely way too scripted.
Well, here's really the thing. If anyone thinks that any reality TV show is unscripted, it's scripted. Every bit of every reality TV show is scripted. The closest you get to the randomnesses, that they have sort of lines. You ad-lib lines. That's about, from being in the industry, there is no real reality TV.
Yeah. It's
all, like you think that people are like having a conversation back and forth, but you forget the fact that the cameras are changing.
Yeah.
You forget the fact that there's camera movements, or that you'll notice that they're wearing a different pair of shoes because they had to come back and record this different thing later. It's scripted.
Big Brother.
They're the people who make these shows choose what they want to air. So they are they're creating a story based on that. They're giving the characters personalities based on what they
give them a more
Look at Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like, trapped in a house, you're 24/7. Now, see, here's what the reality aspect of it is. When watching Big Brother, you can go online and you can look at the feeds from the house. Here's the thing, though. Big Brother, when they're like, okay, we're going to go to our live event. Or Survivors, when they go to their live event. It's kind of, you get that season finale where it's like, this is what is live. So if it was truly reality, wouldn't it be live the entire time? But it's not. And the only thing that they say with Big Brother is when you go to their website and you look at their feeds, and you can like look around the house and you can switch which camera you want to see. That's what that was filmed based off of those security cameras when the season was airing.
Yeah, it's not actually live.
Yeah. And that's something, I mean, when you look at it and you think, okay, so I'm watching a security camera of something that was live at one point. Now keep that in mind, because it was at one point live. But when you're seeing everything that's like, oh, Big Brother, and we're like having these debuts and like seeing all these people and these challenges, that is scripted. What you're seeing through webcam is not scripted. And it's a lot of times you don't get audio, you just get visuals of what people are doing throughout the house. And hell, look at Survivors. Straight up look at Survivor, because there's a camera crew. Anytime someone gets hurt, they flight someone in. Never does anyone get like deathly injured, because there is a medical staff on site. There is other people on site. It's like you get these like shows where it's like, okay, you're like in this tent and you're like getting eaten by bugs. Okay, that's fine. You could probably get mosquito bites, but the next day what they don't show you is the fact that you got medical treatment, and then the rest of the show goes on. And it's,
they can't kill someone on the air.
Kitty! Hi, Kitty. But, like, that's what I mean, though, with reality TV. I want to see a pure reality TV. Actually, I think I've seen reality TV. If you've seen a lot of webcam whoring, that's reality TV.
Yeah. The big problem with the type of reality TV that you're mentioning
Kitty!
Monthly.
He can't hear you.
Kitty! He can probably still hear the headphones.
Get him little headphones.
Aww! Aww! It's so cute! Our ratings just went up because you got a cat.
We got the cat.
Hey. You want down?
No.
Aww.
No. He wants your face.
Aww, he wants your face. Eat your face.
Eat my face?
Eat your face.
The conversation stops because
Cat! Oh, it's so cute! It's so cute! Oh my god, I'm dying from cuteness.
Oh, great. Hey.
Oh my god, it's so fluffy!
Hey.
I'm gonna die.
Hey,
He's
say
like
something?
falling asleep on you.
you
No,
gonna say something?
no, it's sleep time.
Let me see the tail. Give me the tail.
Like, what are you doing to me, human?
Human! Human.
Alright, I'm distracting us enough.
Oh, it's so cute though.
Hey,
If mine shows up,
Say
I'm
hi.
gonna kidnap him.
Say hi. Hey.
What's a camera? You have a shoulder that's good for rubbings.
Yeah, he does that a lot. Hey. Look at me when I'm talking.
He is looking at you.
I know.
He's just not looking at the camera.
Well, one's down. Now I got white hair all over my shirt.
That's how it goes.
it's all over. He
Where
sits
were
in
we?
the same spot on my bed
Where's
all the time.
PK?
What?
PK is lounging. I could probably go kidnap him if that's what you want.
I want to see PK.
All right.
Go kidnap the cat.
I'm gonna poke him with the wall scroll.
Hey. Hey.
Oh, he's sitting down. He's sitting
Go
down.
kidnap PK. We'll watch a blank screen. Go kidnap PK.
Who, him?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna kidnap.
PK is
You
so
totally-
fucking
you
fluffy.
totally would kidnap everyone's pets.
Hey.
PK is like the fluffiest cat I've ever met.
Challenge
You'll see.
accepted.
Hey, you're the
You'll
fuck-
see.
Hey, should have named him something different.
What's his
I had
name?
him-
Hey?
No, that's Cloudy. He's Cloudy.
Cloudy?
Had him since I was like 8 years old. But he's super old.
Aw.
And I always say to myself, it's like, I'm surprised my cat's still alive. He's an old cat.
My
I thought he would be dead before I got out of college.
my stepmom has a cat that she's had since I was like little, and I'm like, oh my god,
Bad
its name is Bumpkin, and Bumpkin is still alive, and it's hilarious because like I will go visit my dad and my stepmom. Aw, you came back empty-handed.
So, funny story here. You'll never guess where the cat is.
Where is the cat?
He's under the bed.
Under
Give me a-
your bed?
Yeah, that's where he lives. Give me a minute.
You.
Hey, little babby cat. It's little ghost babbies. Babby cat.
Wait for
Not-
PK.
not-
PK. Wait for PK. PK is so cute.
DK old? Or is he a
No.
babby?
He's a babby.
Are you a babby? No, you're old.
He's old.
I see white paws. I see white paws. Here we go.
Oh.
Wait for the cuteness. Wait for the cuteness.
Oh, it's the share the cat moment.
PK.
Oh god.
This is the mouth.
Very pretty eyes. Bright yellow eyes.
PK. What you doing, PK?
Kitty.
PK. Hey, PK. What you doing?
I don't know where my other cat.
PK.
She's probably.
Hi, PK.
Yeah, she's sleeping over there. Hold on for just a second.
What you doing?
Oh, but yes. That is the angry cat which I share a room with.
Yep. PK.
There's another one. Ah, showing off beasts today.
Hey. Hey. Other cat.
Other cat.
Other cat. What's his name?
This is Pumpkin. She
Pumpkin.
doesn't like being in my room because her brother over there always bites her.
Aww.
He thinks my room is his territory. But she's not the colors.
I feel like I need to go get Pally Cat now.
Hey, are you a babby cat?
Oh.
She's an unhappy babby cat. All
She's
right.
drunk.
All right.
I need to go get Pally Cat. Pally Cat would enjoy this.
Alley cat.
Pally. Her name's Paladin, but
Oh,
I call
I
her
see.
Pally Cat.
It's an interesting naming convention then. What's going
Seeing
on
that I
over there?
have Rogue, I have Priest, I have Paladin, and I have Druid.
I knew the last one would be Druid. I heard those first three, and I'm like, the last one's gonna be Druid.
Yeah. I should really go get Paladin and see if...
Someday, when Babby Cat over there dies, I'm probably gonna get a new cat, and I want it to be a girl cat, and I'm gonna name it Mr. Blade Runner
What?
because it's ironic, and because I really like Dan Versus.
Okay, so I'm gonna go get Pallycat.
Pally Cat.
Except for it's gonna take me a little bit because she's all the way downstairs. And so I will be right back with Pallycat, and Josh can continue with his like TV movie segment.
What were we
thing.
talking about before I brought
It was TV. We were on the quest. That's what it was.
Dude, look at this!
What'd you do? Did you destroy your headphones?
Why is everything broken?
She breaks everything. That's why we can't do good things.
Damn it.
Here's the cat. On the bed.
Hey. Hey.
No!
I didn't hit my cat. I don't hit my cat.
There we go.
He's just like,
I'll
whatever.
be back.
We don't care.
You guys enjoy. I'll be back.
Okay.
Where's she going?
She's going to get her cat.
Her pally cat?
Yep.
That's her
okay.
weakness. Her weakness is cats, in general.
Go figure.
Mm-hmm. What were we
Uh,
talking about?
We
Reality
were talking
TV?
about this, the Quest show, which I think we've actually covered
Covered
enough.
most of it. But what else is on TV? I haven't been seeing any show. Like, there's one show, aside from Space Dandy, that I will watch live, and that is Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
John Oliver. John Oliver is amazing.
'Cause I feel like that show, there's a lot of things, it's clearly based on The Daily Show, but I think that the fact that he's given creative control, he can swear, he can make jokes about naked breasts because it's HBO, and there's no commercials.
Ooh.
It makes it seem longer, because The Daily Show has commercials, but
Comedy Central.
it still has a lot of the same appeal of The Daily Show, just those, and it doesn't focus solely on the politics, and I like that too. Like,
Although some of the things that he does, I really like. I made like when the World Cup was a giant thing over here. I
Yeah.
made everyone I know watch his rant on FIFA.
oh yeah,
Really, really good and educational if you don't know about them.
right. And I mean, the net neutrality video he did,
Yeah.
that went viral.
Where he summoned the trolls.
And I think that if anything really showed that his show has promise, it's that, because they crashed the FCC's website. Just
I did not
because-
know that they actually did that. He
Well,
actually
yeah, the
summoned
FCC
forth the
opened it.
troll.
And all of the trolls went there, and there were so many requests that the FCC's website crashed because so many people were summoned by.
Pally Cat is a tiny cat.
My awe gland is in overdrive.
Are you ready for this?
We're ready for this. I know what I'm getting into, but
I better go brush my teeth because I'm gonna get a cavity soon.
that's the Pally Cat.
Oh,
It's the
crap.
Pallycat.
So much sweet.
She's so
saccharine.
tiny!
She has tiny little feet.
Little
She
paw.
is so tiny!
Big yellow eyes. Why'd you sneeze? You sneezed.
She is so
She-
tiny!
It felt like it. That's
And now everyone watching the stream has diabetes.
We showed
So
all of our
that's-
cats.
That's what's going to end up happening. We're just going to change all of our icons to pictures of our cats. And that's how we will be known.
Want to be on TV? He doesn't care. He really just doesn't care. He sleeps in that same spot, right down there, all day. All day.
I got a Pallycat.
Can't see it.
Well, I'm like cradling her so that she doesn't like completely just bonkers run around.
Hey, fatso. Really fat cat. You're the fattest cat.
As long as I keep petting her, she's fine.
Oh.
Pally Cat's an attention whore.
Pallycat
Clearly.
is an attention whore.
What else do we have with movies? All right, right. I actually had two things, and I had a good way to segue into your stuff, Kat.
Oh,
So, first off, we have this thing that just came out not too long ago. It's called Deliver Us from Evil.
I heard about that. I was actually listening to the Super Best Friend cast, and one of the members said that it was actually really not that bad.
Think if you put like an exorcism movie together with like Seven.
Yeah, he compared it to Seven too. He said it's very Seven-esque.
It's interesting because it follows a cop investigating a bunch of crimes that look like they're supernatural, and they may or may not actually be supernatural, and it gets into the exorcism type stuff. So it's mashing in cop drama and crime thrillers with supernatural thrillers and like horror movies.
Yeah, I heard that it's in that sort of really hard to classify genre where there are supernatural elements, but they're presented in a very believable and realistic way, and that's pretty cool.
And you don't know.
Then you don't. Yeah, it's not blatantly fantastic, so it kind of gets you involved that way.
And it has a bunch of decent people in it. It's got Eric Bana in it, and ironically, one of the leads is actually Olivia Munn, which started on podcast and GTV video game nonsense.
Yeah. Wait, is this the one with Joel McHale, or am I thinking of another one?
No, yep, that's...
yeah, and he has like a weird accent?
Yep, he is the butler.
Oh, yeah. Actually heard that was okay.
Yeah, so that's out right now. It just came out recently, so that's pretty neat. And you can't really talk about movies right now without, unfortunately, in my opinion, dealing with this Transformers movie.
oh dear God!
I heard
explosion porn.
We knew that, though. And there's two camps with this. There's one camp of people that is like, okay, this is a dumb summer action movie. And it is. So if you want to go see a dumb summer action movie, this is... If you like the other Transformers movie, then this is more of the same. Then there's the other camp that I think last time I checked, and I'm going to check again, Rotten Tomatoes had this thing listed at like 14%.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, 14% of what?
14% fresh, as in real bad ratings.
Like 14 out of 100.
And we're finding out here in a second. We are at 17%. So after like weeks of it being out, it got uber bad reviews.
I mean, this entire franchise is just it. From what I can gather of the recent Transformers movie, is that unlike a lot of other summer blockbusters like the superhero movies, like Spider-Man or the Avengers, when they had Transformers, is very, very. It's hard to justify any sort of story or plot in it.
And that's the thing right there.
Yeah, unlike Spider-Man, where you're getting to know Peter Parker and the people who are in his world, Transformers is just some people and the Transformers.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a convincing plot out of that. Or at least no one's really doing a good job of it.
Yeah. It's...
And like Kat said, it's explosion porn.
It's
It's
exactly
explosion
that.
porn.
Ironically, though, in the same vein of what you're talking about, there's a new cast. There's no Shia LaBeouf or Megan Fox.
Yeah, I heard, yeah.
Which is actually a slight boon for this franchise, because they weren't really that interesting in the first place, and the fact that they're essentially slowly rebooting it, quote marks,
Yeah.
with new people, is like, it shows how unimportant they were in the first place.
Pally Cat's getting antsy. I'm gonna put her back in her room.
Okie doke. We'll continue.
So enjoy this porn.
I'll save my segue until you get back.
Okay.
So we're on Transformers for a little while. But on that note, it's like, it hit theaters... When did it hit theaters? The last weekend in June. So it's been out for about 2 weeks, right? 175 million.
That's the box office?
That's his total from the box office here. The downside with all this stuff is pretty much everything relating to this movie as far as I'm concerned with, because it's so obviously a cash cow at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even really pretending that they're not selling themselves out. It has a gigantic audience over in China. So in this movie, they specifically go to China and have a couple of Chinese superstars just randomly in the movie for the purpose of having them in there.
pandering. They're pandering to the people that they know like the movie.
There's an Oreo truck transformer, so you can see the logo more. There is no question whether or not that they're pandering. It is all about a cash grab. I mean, the last one that I saw, they had a Mountain Dew soda dispenser machine turned into a transformer, and then the best part was it pops out this the gun looked like one of those revolving grenade launcher things, except it was chunking out Mountain Dew cans at people.
Oh God.
It's only in there for about 5 seconds, but it's there.
Yeah, Mountain Dew's like, hey, we got some. Can we be in your movie, please?
And probably the other big
Product
thing.
placement.
It's all product placement.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I'm having an issue with is this film introduces the Dinobots. So big stuff from like G1.
Right.
Scary face. But they finally throw in the Dinobots, and they have Grimlock, which is my boy.
Who's
the
a
big red-
freaking mount?
Yeah, that's the thing. The king of this whole other tribe gets downgraded to a mount for Optimus Prime to ride around on for like the last 15 minutes of the movie. That's it. No one rides Grimlock. Grimlock King. Smash puny humans. He breathes fire on people, and he shows up just long enough for him to be awesome and like mic drop and then leave. And that's it. Like,
Yep.
It had great opportunities for stuff, and there's a whole lot of not stuff. And the other real kicker is it's a summer action movie, right? You'd think those kind of things, there's not much story going on with them. You're just going to jump between action scenes, you hit it hard, and then you go out with a bang. This movie is 2 hours and 37 minutes long.
Are you serious? I would
Yep.
not-
It's right
this is
there
the
on
attention span.
Exactly. That's probably its other big problem. That's a big reason why it got rated so low.
It's doing
Because if you're gonna
badly.
do an action movie like that, I mean, Michael Bay's done action movies to death. You'd think you would really get it down, like how pacing works. But it actually gets to the point where if you're in the theater, even if you like action movies with big explosions, you're gonna start to get a headache.
Yeah, because
There's
that's a long period of time, and action
Lots of
movies-
bass.
Yeah, I mean, you action movies in general are based on immediacy and in your face intensity, and taking all the. It's kind of like listening to a heavy metal song that's just pure heavy metal for 15 minutes long.
They're out there,
Eventually,
and they hurt.
all that intensity just start. Yeah, they just start to wear on you. You're just tired of it. Because I know this because I write reviews for a music magazine, and I listen to a lot of albums from people who do that, and I get bored of these things about maybe 3.5 minutes into them, and they're 8-minute long songs.
Yeah, and ironically, as a joke, about halfway through the movie, they make a big show of somebody taking aspirin. Like, you need this right now. We're showing it to you. You just can't have it.
Wow,
So-
that's a
Yeah, they're.
that's just cruel.
It
It's
is.
like-
It is. Michael Bay is a cruel man. Which, on another hand, if anyone has seen the new Ninja Turtles trailer, Shredder looks like a Transformer. Spoiler.
Really.
No, if you
Wow.
haven't, if you don't look at anything else, because there was a teaser trailer that didn't show very much. This one is one of the more, okay, here's the film, here's the premise, here's the vibe of the film. Yeah, they put Shredder in a robot suit that has like
Shredder and a robot.
that has like swords popping out of his arms, and he can shoot them at people, and apparently they come back. It's
Shredder
my
Mecha Shredder.
My childhood is
Mecha
done.
Shredder.
Done.
Hey, you're talking about the next trailer, not the whoa, whoa, whoa. It's just a mask. Don't freak out. Not that one, right? Not that trailer.
All of those scenes are in the new one. So it's just more like an extended
See,
trailer.
the funny thing about that scene is that there was some sort of event on YouTube where some animator made a parody of that scene where he takes off the mask and his face is like a real turtle's face. And all of these other animators are basically, they decide to start parodying this single scene. Like in one of them, he takes his mask off and it's Nigel Thornberry. He just takes it off and you see him and he goes, "Grah," and then you just see the words Michael Bay on the screen and it ends. Some of them, I know Kino Joe parodied where it turns out it's Bowser from Mario. One of them turned in like, and it was just this trend. All these different animators just made fun of this single stupid dumb scene, and all of them animate Megan Fox in a stupid way. One makes her have like a dirt face the whole time, and it's just like. So I'm still complete. It's clear as day that this movie, this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, is just, it's Michael Bay's movie, and it doesn't seem to be. It's not even the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. It's Michael Bay's movie.
Yeah.
That's largely what the fan community has really dealt with this. So I'm kind of upset that my childhood is being taken away one bit at a time, but it is what it is. It might be a fun action flick, but I'm probably not going to end up seeing this because it's just...
I don't blame you.
It's not going to be fun. It's going to be me watching the film getting angry at like, what? That's what it's going to be. The whole movie is me saying that word over and over until I'm sick of saying it.
Yeah.
That's the same reaction that people who saw the 1998 Godzilla movie were thinking the exact same thing.
And on that note, I have to highly approve of the new one. Giant nerd for that stuff. I grew up watching those movies.
Kaiju.
Exactly. I mean, Pacific Rim did it really well, and I probably opened the door. There wasn't enough hilarious monster fighting going on, but I know exactly why they did it that way. They did it that way because it was the alien influence.
Right.
They directly went straight for that. Like, you see very little of the monster until it's very important. But it doesn't work so well with kaiju movies because kaiju movies, whether they want to really admit it or not, are based in pro wrestling. How many people here? How many people here have ever seen Kaiju Big Battle? If
I haven't seen that, but
if you've seen it, you'll know, because what this is easily the funniest and worst thing that ever happened to television. Because it was on Sci-Fi Channel at like 2 a.m. when I was a kid. It essentially went kind of like you had a pro wrestling ring, right?
Right.
And an actual cardboard city in the middle of it, and the wrestlers come on big floppy monster costumes and just do pro wrestling.
I think I actually remember that. I can envision that.
Yeah, it was like, but it was super cheesy on purpose.
Yeah, like the old movies. Oh, that's funny because that's really what it is.
Yeah. So
Godzuki's gonna tear up Neo Tokyo.
it was funny, but the new movie did a good job, and they've actually already listened to the criticisms of not enough Smash. So the next thing that they plan on doing is something more like Destroy All Monsters, where it's a big monster mash and what you're setting up for. Now, my last bit, which is the segue into Kat's anime section, does involve movies over here, because starting on the beginning of next month, August 5th, 6th, 7th, and 9th, apparently not the 8th, the new Dragon Ball Z film is in theaters over here.
Oh yeah, Battle of the Gods.
Yep, I have seen that actually already, and it was actually not bad at all as far as anime movies that are essentially just spin-offs of series that I've seen. There's a little bit of character development. It expands the universe in a meaningful way, and my boy Vegeta has a shining moment, and he's only had like 2 before in his life, so it was awesome.
Was one of them over 9,000?
No,
Oh,
No.
okay.
Because, spoiler alert, there's the bit where he beats up the chubby android, where he looked like a badass, but that
Yeah.
wasn't much. And there's the other bit where he blew himself up to save his family,
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember
because
both of those.
that was cool. And I'll always make the argument that the actual Dragon Ball Z plotline, even though people say it's about Goku or Gohan, I always say it was about Vegeta, because it starts
Yeah.
off with him as a villain, doesn't care about anything, gonna blow up the Earth because he feels like it, going from that to him finally meeting people, making friends, starting to have a family, caring about these people, and then being willing to die for that place that he didn't care about at the start.
That's
Only
true.
guy
I
in the
mean,
whole only guy in the whole show that has a real character arc.
he goes from villain to sort of an auxiliary villain who just happens to side with the good guys, and
Yeah.
then he starts moving into anti-heroism, sort of in the android arc, where he's, and then he, by the time you get after the time skip, he's still a jerk, and then he eventually goes back to being the villain a little bit, and then he becomes a hero. And you're completely right that character development is, no one else in the series has that.
And there was a bit in, I believe it was either this, I think it was in the Buu Saga, where he's talking to big hero man Goku, who has been set up like a for the whole show, even though he's abridged, like, knocks it up like 3 notches, but he's really not that intelligent. And the show does, like, point to that a lot. He's a martial artist prodigy, but he is not very smart. And Goku keeps trying to set up Vegeta to be guardian of Earth, because Goku's tired of it. He doesn't care about it. All he wants to do is have more and more challenging fights, so he can get better for his own selfish reasons, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like, and it falls back into the Monkey King mythos. He didn't care. He was an agent of chaos. I'll
Right.
take that where you will. But, and the shining moment in Battle of the Gods, if you have not seen it, plays into that arc perfectly, especially if you consider the original creator was not involved with GT. GT is its own thing with different animators and different writers, and was not Akira Toriyama
Right.
at all. And he didn't actually approve of it either. So that's why when he went back into making the series, it was a Dragon Ball Z movie that disregarded all the GT nonsense.
Yeah, GT had a lot of problems.
I actually haven't watched it because of all of the problems.
I mean,
But-
it tries. Now I've seen Dragon Ball GT, and first off, it starts off. It's essentially the first Dragon Ball series at the start, because they're looking for the Black Star Dragon Balls all over the universe or the galaxy or whatever, and they need to find them to stop the Earth from blowing up. And it starts off like Dragon Ball. I mean, Goku is young again. His granddaughter is essentially the female comic relief character like Bulma was. And then it's, once you get into this machine mutant stuff, it tries to be Dragon Ball Z again. It tries to make these battles a lot more intense, a lot more important. But there's so many plot holes. There's so many things that just seem to be there without any explanation. Like, what is Super Saiyan 4? We're never given any sort of context as to what it is. Like, did this ever happen before? I mean, and then at the end, okay, I'm just going to spoil Dragon Ball GT for you.
Do it.
Last battle, it's a spirit bomb of everyone in the universe.
Surprise!
Not just the people on Earth, everyone in the universe. And then Goku goes away to the land of the gods or something. And I'm like, why do all these anime have to do this spirit bomb stuff? It was fine at the end of Dragon Ball's. Well, the problem I have with the spirit bomb is it demeans the person who is using the spirit bomb, because that's not his power he's using.
Exactly. And
And
also,
even-
it's kind of a kryptonite thing. It's, okay, we're going to use that to kill every big bad. Why? Because that's how we do it. That's just formulatic. How does a Dragon Ball Z movie go? Bad guy shows up. Bad guy beats up all Goku's friends. Bad guy beats up Goku. Goku uses everyone else's power and kills them in one hit. Every movie that Goku's involved in.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball Z is not the only offender there. Like, the anime adaptation of my favorite manga ever, Shaman King, the anime adaptation ends with what is essentially a spirit bomb. And I don't like that because I'm like, well, first of all, the spirit bomb's already been done. It's already been done. And second of all, that is not the main character's power. It doesn't make the main character seem strong. It shows his dependence on everyone else. And while that provides a good friendship message, it demeans the character. And I'm turned off by that. And Dragon Ball GT was like, okay, Spirit Bomb. And this isn't even Super Saiyan 4 Goku using Spirit Bomb. This is just regular old Goku using a Spirit Bomb. I'm like, why? It's like, give us your energy. I'm like, okay, that's everyone else's energy. And Kat, you look bored listening to our Dragon Ball Z rants.
I'm just listening.
Yeah, sure you are.
But yeah, that's actually my segue into anime, because we have an anime movie that is, for the first time in a long time, actually hitting American theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's happening. So that's
I'd go see it. I'd go see it because, and I'm assuming it's going to be the English dub. I'm assuming that because
I assume so as well, but I would see it subtitled. That's just
I
me.
would too. I mean, I don't have a
Well,
problem with
when Spirit Away first debuted, like when it was in select theaters only, it was in subtitle.
Right.
It wasn't until
Yeah,
it became like a widespread, holy shit, the limited release had all these fans behind it. It's Miyazaki, like everyone in the US who's otaku knows of Miyazaki. Like, it was one of those things that they didn't expect it to have such a following. Because most of the people, you have Princess Mononoke and My Neighbor Totoro, which didn't have really a theater release.
Which is weird because
Right.
how many crazy, like, American actors did voice acting for Mononoke?
Yeah,
Like-
it's crazy how many actually
that.
good
They get a lot of
ones.
talent for all the Studio Ghibli movies. They get a lot of people.
Yeah. But it didn't, it had like a DVD release. It didn't really have like theater release. Every single one of them had a limited release. And it was like New York or Philadelphia or
Yeah.
main cities that are very like indie film driven. And Spirit Away was the first one who really had an open theater, like everyone can go see it. And that's like when we get into like, there's not that many releases that Japan has that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of live actions. I remember going to see Death Note, the live action. They did the part 1 and part 2 in theaters, and I was lucky enough to
Take
be
a potato chip and eat it.
Yeah.
That
Like,
happens
I
a
mean,
lot, too.
it was like one of those things that like they would be surprised. You could pack like just 1 week. Just give it 1 week release, not just one night, but a 1 week release. And these theaters would see millions of just people that are just otaku flood to the theaters. And it's like, look how many people go see the Pokemon movies. And they're Pokemon movies. It's just, hey, look, it's anime. Naruto. The first couple Naruto movies had a limited release. And tons of people went to those. So, I mean, they need to kind of bring in some more of that, like, imported anime movies to theaters. And I see they probably do a lot more. And yes, Tokyo and Japan and stuff like that, when you have these big movie releases, they're going to be the main focus. But don't forget, like, the United States has all these people. So,
And on that note, actually, around where we are, it's our date is August 5th. Nationally, the dates are 5th through 9th,
mhm.
but like AMC theaters around here, August 5th is the date, and I may actually be going to see this to see what they do.
I want to see it.
We should all go. Let's
Yeah,
all
we
go.
should. And
Dragon Ball Z movies in general, they do have a formula. They do say, okay, this is going to be a new enemy, and I mean, and this might be something really dumb for me to say, but the first Broly movie, the first one, not the second one where he comes back and the third one where he's like a blob, the first one. I know Broly is just a psychopathic tank, but he's like
bad guy.
He's like one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z characters.
He's my favorite bad guy.
He's so obscenely powerful, and he has no personality. He's just out to kill Goku.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember
for no good reason either.
I mean, he's just like he's bothering him. He has like this. He remembers Goku crying, and it just tormented him all his life. And I remember that a long time ago, when I was little Alex Jr. in middle school, there was a convention in St. Louis where Vic Mignogna, the guy who voiced Broly in the English dub, was there, and he explained.
He was a Fullmetal Alchemist too, wasn't he?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was Edward.
And he was explaining, what's it like being a voice actor at Funimation, and he said, "I hate voicing Broly. I always feel like I'm going to choke, and like it's so bad on my throat because he has this gravelly thing where all he says is Kakarot all the time." And I'm like, I don't blame you, man. It's not like he has a lot of character development.
No.
But, and I mean, there's been so many of these other villains, and not very many of them really mean much. Like, I can't even remember. I don't know who BoJack is. I don't know who. I don't know. I almost forgot about Turles, the guy in Tree of
Might.
But Broly is
Here's
just.
my nerd coming out here.
Broly is iconic because he's so powerful and he's so insane that you can't help but be captivated by it. Although the ending of that, yes, Spirit Bomb. It's like it's such a MacGuffin. It's such a MacGuffin. The Spirit.
That's exactly what it is. I thought the Broly movie, well, the first one, the other two are bad. The Broly movies were neat because it was the first time that in like the whole show is like Saiyan oriented.
Yeah.
First time that they're actually dealing with a Saiyan antagonist for like realsies since Vegeta.
Yeah.
It's like somebody who has as much potential as the heroes, and there's like no just. By the way, they're Saiyan, so they're gonna win. There's no just getting out of it that way.
And then there's really only, aside from that, there's one thing I remember about the Super Android 13 movie, and that's just Goku getting punched in the balls. That's all I remember.
The nut punch. It was amazing where he catches the kick, he lifts the foot up, boom.
And I remember if you pause it at the right at the impact, you see two circles splitting apart. I'm not kidding. So I paused it there.
So wait. You're not kidding?
I'm not kidding.
You're fired. You're fired. Taking over the podcast.
You are banned from puns.
No puns.
But I what was the video? It was the guy who made Over 9000, Kajeto-kun, did a video called "I Hope My Body Can Take It," and it opens up with that scene. And if you pause it right when he gets punched, you see two circles, both of them cracked in half.
So Alex,
Yeah.
you were you one of those people that paused it just to see the nuts?
I saw it for a second, and then I'm like, okay,
it.
did I see it correctly? So I paused it, and I like,
Yep.
wait, did I like upload it to my Imgur or something? I forgot if I did or not. I have the paused picture saved on my, because I posted it, and I just have this picture of myself like this after seeing it, because I'm like, oh my god. And I said, I'm sorry to all of my male friends for showing this to you.
You weren't really sorry. You just
No.
wanted to share the pain.
I wanted to share my pain, exactly. So to
Oh,
answer
so-
your question, Kat, yes.
Yes. On a side note, I have two things that Vic signed.
Oh, D&A Angel back in the day. What's the other one?
It says From Dark.
Yeah,
and
he
then-
did voice Dark.
Mezzo. I'm
Yeah, I know
not.
what that
It
is.
was like a side character that he ended up playing in, so it wasn't like any of the really main characters. But I had to have From Dark Like, that was one of my things, was like, I had to have, because he played Dark from D and Angel.
My sister, when she was like really young, she was such the middle school fangirl for anime. She this is a true story, by the way. My sister and her friend somehow got Vic Mignogna's phone number.
Yeah.
And that is how they found out that he was coming to that convention. And then when he was there, they saw him, and they met. He's like, "We called you," and he was like, "Oh my god!" And he like was really nice to him. And I don't know how they got his phone number. I don't know why, but they got his phone number. Cool.
A lot of times, like, for conventions, he'll do, like, hey, you want a voicemail of my name, or, like, of a character? He'll, like, voice the character and do voicemails for
awesome.
people.
That is pretty cool.
But for a while there, his number and his, like, contact information was just on his fan page. And the same thing with Greg Ayres. Greg Ayres was doing a lot of, like, fan servicey stuff, and anyone could contact him. And it was pretty interesting, but then you get a lot of people who abused it and then just trolled.
I was gonna say, that's really dangerous to do. Just to, by the way, I'm a somewhat famous person. Here's all of my information right on the internet. Please don't abuse it. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. But, I mean, a lot of people from cons, like, he'd give his number out. Hey, come find me at this so-and-so time for panels and stuff like that. So, I mean, depending, you get people who are famous enough to buy a burner phone. Why not? Like, really? Like, why not? We're actually hitting the point we're at, like, 2.5 hours in. So, we're probably going to want to wrap this up, like, fairly.
Well, you're the last one, so...
Yeah. Really the only thing that I have, and yes, I put notes on my phone.
I was going to talk more about your Deadpool phone, but...
Deadpool phone.
Deadpool.
That's cool.
Yep. Deadpool.
The deadest pool.
Okay, so... Okay, anime news, what we have for this week, and seems to be, like, the biggest talk of everything, and this is something that kind of confused me, because we're gonna go with Sailor Moon Crystal. And a lot of stores, like Hot Topic did it, some of the, like, FYE did it, like, just because they were debuting, like, in Japan, they were doing all these, like, product giveaways, like, anything Sailor Moon, they were having a discount on.
Right.
And that made me really sit there and go, wow, so we're really in tune culturally, because if FYE and, like, Hot Topic are getting on this bandwagon of, hey, look, this is something that is currently airing in Japan. Like, the only reason a lot of us know about it is because we get the stimulus. What are they actually called? Is it Stimulcast?
What?
Simulcast?
Simulcast.
Simulcast.
That's what
Simulcast, because I have to do those on Sunday.
yeah, the simulcast. Huh? But, like, we get that. We get where it's still in subtitles. And I'm like, wow, Hot Topic's on this. Like, FYE is on this. A lot of movie sites are on this. And people are still doing, like, hey, it's Sailor Moon's coming back. And I was just like, what?
Well, it was a big
what?
In the United States for, like, a long time. Actually, like, on the Dragon Ball Z thing, like, that was, like, the thing back then. Like, Dragon Ball Z was for boys and Sailor
Moon was for girls. Yeah. So, I mean, it's two of the things that are, like, really popularly in our culture. And it's kind of interesting. But, yes, it debuted, it aired. You can find it on Crunchyroll. If you have premium, there's sometime this upcoming week, probably Thursday or something like that, it'll be aired for the public. Or, if you can't wait till then, it's on Hulu.
I heard from a pretty, relatively reputable source that it was... like the old show, except filled with a bit more tropes, and if you dumped like 8 extra pounds of sugar on it.
Yep.
I
So,
heard that a lot of people were there was a debate as to whether it was good to use CG or not in the transformation scenes. Um, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't make a judgment. But I've also heard that we're kind. I heard on the Super Best Friend cast that the character doesn't call her like Meatball Head anymore, like in the
No.
old dub. They say Bunhead, and
Yep.
that's interesting to me. When first aired here in the U.S., when no one really could make a good dub,
yeah.
because we had the Ocean Group dub of DBZ, which, hey, look, I can see their parachutes. I'm like, no, you can't, because they're dead. So seeing this classic series that we all know was really not the best dubbed or translated or anything, now sort of remastered in the same story but for a generation. Now we're in the time when we it's proven that we can make good dubs and make them palatable. We've had years, decades of
Yeah.
time to get better at making this anime stuff good as anime and not trying to force it to be American. So I think that's interesting to me that they kept those references to the Japanese version. And it
Well,
just shows that there's that gap between the original Sailor Moon and now this new generation of Sailor Moon that has the same story.
see,
We've come a
technically,
long way.
though, this isn't a new generation. This is
Right.
the original.
I know.
This is Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. And
Mhm.
it's the original, like... Okay, so you have Sailor Moon, which was just labeled Sailor Moon. And then you have the manga series that was Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. And that's what they're going off of. They're just rebooting it for this new generation coming up. Is
Yeah, that's what I
essentially
mean.
w's going on.
I mean,
and-
the story is essentially the same,
Yeah.
right?
So, like, a lot of times when I was watching it, I was like, okay, so this isn't my nostalgia. My nostalgia is actually with Dragon Ball Z.
Mhm.
I fell into the more male-oriented animes growing up than I did with the more female-oriented animes. So,
So, actually, in the chat here, if anyone cares, there's the old transformation compared to the new, courtesy of a Canadian.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I will keep it up and then check it out as soon as we're done. But yeah, so like
this new Sailor Moon, it's more tailored to it. A lot of the interpretations and the reception I've heard is it as a sense of nostalgia, and that it's not intended to hook more people in, I guess.
well, that's very debatable though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure because I haven't seen it, so that's what I've heard.
Because looking back on it's a whole new style. It is straight from the manga style of artwork. There is, when you look at it, it's not your typical anime style. And a lot of people are going to look at it and be like, well, it's nowhere near as good. But when you have to sit there and realize it's the manga, and that at that point you're catching the people who watched the anime for the nostalgia. You're looking at the true diehard Sailor Moon fans. You're looking at the people who in general like original artwork. And that's what you're getting with this. The thing is with that, a lot of the younger generations of people who are getting into anime don't know what it's like to have Sailor Moon airing. So, at the same sense, they're hitting all key points. It's not if they're just going back from nostalgia. It's not they're just going back to reboot this. It is everything combined. And actually, one of the points for my news is there was 2 million within 2 days viewings of Sailor Moon.
Not really surprising.
And
I mean, this was one of the most hyped simulcasts of the season.
The other one was actually the other 2 that got a lot of hype was Akami ga Kill, which was, they were doing cosplays of it everywhere. They were handing out postcards. They were doing everything they could to hype it.
Did they cosplay the sweater vest?
No, it was just the girl. Think
Hey,
about it. It was
Butterfree.
just the girl. The other one was Tokyo Ghoul. And
I like
out
it.
of
I really like it.
everything, Tokyo Ghoul spent the most in advertising.
Really?
Yes.
Online Season 2 wasn't in that?
Huh?
What about Sword Art Online Season 2? Did that not get much hype?
It got the hype. Well, now, here's the thing. Sword Art Online 1 had the viewership of the Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the hype, let alone. When you get these new series that don't have a Season 1 or are continuing, you have to create your own hype. So they put more advertising, they put more hype towards that. Then, okay, people who watch Sword Art Online 1 are going to watch Sword Art Online 2. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. People who never heard of Tokyo Ghoul, never heard of Akame ga Kill, like, they're gonna want that hype. Everyone who's in Sailor Moon, it got its own hype, pretty much. So these were two animes that the market strategy of them was to actually put more into it because no one's ever heard of it. And Tokyo Ghoul spent the most in advertising. And one of the biggest things for them, their advertising, was in subway stations. They put up these giant posters of the characters and of these gruesome, like, artwork in subway stations. And that's where you're going to see your most traffic, especially in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, it got all this marketing, and that's what it was. And, like, I was super excited to see Tokyo Ghoul. However, it's on Funimation's site, and I'm not paying Funimation money.
Everyone's getting their own streaming service now, and
Yeah.
the same situation as like EA and Origin or Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Like you don't
Origin.
want, like I don't. I'm gonna build my own treehouse to hold my own products that you can only get here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
not worth.
And I mean, a lot of people, or sorry, rather, a lot of companies for this season are like, kind of like, well, what the fuck? Like, okay, so Crunchyroll got a part of the animes. Funimation got the other half of the animes. Then you got Hulu, and you have Netflix, and you have Daisuke, and you have one
Viz
other
has
company.
Neon Alley.
Viz. That's what the. And you have this in-between ground where
Right.
you are fighting right now with Crunchyroll and Funimation. And Tokyo Ghoul is only on Funimation. Sword Art Online, you can find that on Crunchyroll. You can find that on Hulu. You cannot find, like, Tokyo Ghoul anywhere but Funimation. And that's something that really irritates me because it's only on simulcast right now, which means you have to have a subscription through Funimation. There's not enough on their website that goes, I want to watch this. Where
Right.
Crunchyroll has like 18
God, they
different
got
things
so many.
that are going at the same time. Where Funimation is like, okay, so we're going to take all these old animes and make them for subscription only. What? Like, they're old animes. Like, you can watch them on Hulu. You can watch them on Netflix. What is the purpose of you just being like, hey, we want subscriptions too. Crunchyroll can't take all the hype. It's just like, Funimation needs to go, like, be flushed down the toilet and be like, play fair. Play fair with the anime community.
I don't like it when a company says you can only find this on ours, but at the same time, it's business. I mean, they want to be able to have full control of all of the income earned from showing these anime, and even branching it out. I mean, they're selling the license to Netflix or Hulu or something like that. So in Funimation's mind, in their mind, I'm not saying that this is true, they would make more money getting subscription services from the people who want to see this anime specifically. I don't think that's right. I don't like having to, like, I know that some shows you can only see on Hulu And I don't like Hulu because you still have to see ads even though you have a paid subscription.
I was gonna say, because that's one of the things I was like, well, I'd rather pay a subscription to Hulu. And then I looked at it and went, wait. I'm only getting subscription free for kids' TV shows and some movies.
The only thing...
There's no point in me paying for a subscription then.
Yeah, Hulu, they still give you ads, and really the only thing that Hulu Plus gets you is maybe a few shows in advance and the ability to watch it on something other than your desktop.
Yeah.
And that's not enough. That's not nearly enough.
And it's just like, I would really like to see Tokyo Ghoul. I don't want to have to download it. I would rather support someone else.
Right.
But I'm not supporting Funimation because with this season of anime, they've become true just jerks with how they're running things. Where if people want to, they can go to Hulu. Or they can go to Netflix and catch like seasons of things that have already debuted. Funimation is that one group that's just like, no, we want profit. We want this money strategy. And guess what? Their people are realizing it, and they're just going, you know what, then we're not going to watch their anime.
It's actually very interesting, because they were like that a while back. And for a while, it stayed like that forever. And then at some point, they went, you know what, we're really not making all that much money on this at all. And they put every show that they had for free on YouTube.
Or Netflix. They were the ones who... Yeah.
I remember the YouTube one.
They just unloaded literally everything, every episode they had. Sometimes dubbed, sometimes subbed,
Here's the thing.
And they 180. And now they're going back.
They're making advertisement and making money off of the YouTube as well.
Yeah, they are.
Because of AdSense and because of just company funding, people are like, hey, look, we're getting these millions of views. They're still making money. That's something that it really just boggles my mind of why not take something that people are going to either go download or stream off of someone else's site, put it on frickin' YouTube, get that advertising marketing strategy going, and be like, hey, look, we debuted this on YouTube. They're getting a cut of the money from it. And then it's like, okay, so you only have, say, 50,000 people who are subscribed to Funimation, and that's giving them credit. Like, I don't know the numbers, and I don't know what the rough estimate is, but that's just a number off the top of my head. 50,000 probably are subscribed to Funimation, because Funimation does do things for conventions. They do a lot of advertising. They do a lot of the box sets that people aren't going to get other than going to their site. So, I mean, there's that crowd of people, just like PC and Apple. You have that people who are Open Anime and Funimation.
Yeah.
Because Funimation thinks that having their own streaming service will make them more money. What they don't understand is, if people have to pay a new subscription fee, then they probably aren't going to watch it, which means that your viewership goes down. In comparison to YouTube, more people will watch their stuff on YouTube than they will with the streaming service. That's a fact, because everyone uses YouTube. It's just Funimation is thinking that by going individual, that they will make more money, but at the same time, less people are going to watch their stuff because they don't want to pay more money for a subscription service.
So pretty much, Funimation is now the EA of anime.
That's pretty much the situation. They're trying to build their own house, their own clubhouse, and not let anyone else in and only serve their own. And that's a problem, because they're locking people out when that's the thing with debating on whether or not you want your game to appear on Origin or Steam. Steam has a larger user base, just like YouTube does, which means more people will watch your stuff. And that debate of what is more profitable doesn't make much sense, because I have a feeling that if Funimation is going to make their own, this goes the same thing with Viz's Neon Alley, although I think Viz actually works with Hulu.
Yes, they do.
Is that it's the same situation, because they think
they can make more money that way and still be in control of everything, but they don't understand that by locking that behind a paywall, you're cutting your viewership down a lot, especially when it's something like YouTube first.
Well, see, here's the thing. Funimation is looking at Crunchyroll and Crunchyroll's success because in a week after it showed, it's going free. You don't have to have the subscription. You're still getting the advertising. But here's the thing, though. Why am I going to pay for a subscription for old anime and for shit that, okay, I can find somewhere else? And you look at Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll does so much more based on anime. They do all these old series that I can watch for free. And Funimation is like, okay, so we're going to take what's popular and what's free right now and try and make some money on it. Yeah, I would rather pay the $6. $7. Oh no, $7 to spend on Crunchyroll. Funimation's price is $1 higher.
Mm-hmm. That's the
problem. Same thing.
The problem with Funimation is that they don't have enough exclusive content, new exclusive content, to justify a whole nother streaming service. Like you said, it's all old stuff that we've seen before, or stuff that's on other streaming services. Yeah. Because that's the reason that you choose. I mean, I've said this a lot about the console wars in general. You don't buy a game console over another based on the stuff that you can get on both. People buy that kind of stuff for exclusive, and that works the same way with streaming services. That if you can get your stuff on another streaming service, you're not going to pick the more expensive one. Yeah. No way. You need stuff that you can only get on that service.
For this season, though, for this season of anime, Funimation has captured 3 different animes. I don't quite remember what the other 2 are, but they're only doing it lock and key to Funimation. I've looked everywhere on the internet, and it's like, hey, look, Funimation has gotten the licensing for this. Sorry, we can't air this. And that's what makes them the bullies, is because they are capturing these licenses and go, look, we're going to sue or take everyone else out who has this content. And
I will say, however, when I saw, this is from, sorry, I have a thing. This is from the pirate here, okay?
Yeah.
When I saw stuff from, actually, where my source found Tokyo Ghoul first was YouTube. Saw it there before we started to play around with downloading stuff. So they really can't stop people from uploading stuff on the YouTube. They can take it down after it's already been uploaded, but at that point it really is actually just playing whack-a-mole. And and that's why you find older anime on YouTube after, it's settled down for a while, because they're not actively having search and destroy teams out there. So if you can't find it on a streaming site that you like, it will probably be on YouTube eventually.
Right.
But you're not going to catch it on the simulcast when it's immediately released if that's what you want to do. Because this is essentially...
It is playing whack-a-mole. That's a really good analogy for what they're...
Don't give me credit for that one. That was...
I know, I mean, yeah, but that's essentially the metaphor for what is going on.
Well, I'm going to try and cut this off at 3 hours, because we've been at this for 3 hours now.
Yeah, we have.
We got a lot of stamina here on this podcast.
Yeah, we do. For the last 10 minutes, I'm going to wrap it up by saying...
Okay.
RG Volin is a new anime that has the most... I don't want to say hype, but the most oomph when it comes down to their production. Like, they have the soundtrack from the people who did Kill la Kill, Attack on Titan. They have all these people, the producer, the director, the artists are from these really high populated animes. They're really good. And that's actually going to be the biggest thing. It's going to be the dark horse this season, I think, because a lot of people don't quite realize what's behind the scenes with certain animes. They'll be like, oh, this soundtrack sounds a little like this anime, but they don't realize, like, exactly who is the ones behind it. Yeah. So, I think Archivolin is going to be one of the dark horses this time around. It's a mecha anime. I'm not into mecha animes really much anymore. The only one I still follow or still get into is Neon Genesis Evangelion. But I think it's going to have that, like, drive that, like, most of the other animes that these directors and these producers have done. It's going to be that heartfelt, okay, here's what's going on. I don't want to spoil content. I don't want to spoil who's doing anything else with it. So if you're interested in this, please go Google it. Go look it up for yourself. That way you can actually kind of like go, oh, well, I know this stereotype from this anime that this director does. Like, I don't want to spoil the anime at all. So, need be, go look it up. There was a Twitter somewhere on, I think, my Twitter. I think I retweeted it and stuff like that. So you can try and find that. If not, I will go favorite for people who are interested in finding out. Argivollen.
Argevollen.
Yes.
Now
Yeah. And then the last thing I want to put up for anime news is right now Right Stuff, RIGHTTUF.com. It's not double F's, it's just one F. Is currently doing a summer sale, and this is to launch the summer of anime. And it's up to 32% off of in-stock items. So anything that's on their site that says in stock and available, they're doing up to 30% off, 32% off. If you have a membership, it's up to 39% off. And
jeez, that Toradora box set is expensive.
And the promotional code on this is Summer14. So for those of you who are like, I'm missing this manga or I'm missing this DVD, this will be a good time for you guys to go check out Right Stuff. They have a lot in stock. They're always doing sales. They're always doing bundles. And hopefully you guys can like fill out your collection while the sale is going on. It ends on the 13th though. This had been going on since I think the start of the anime season. Sorry.
So that's this Sunday.
So it ends this Sunday. And
right. Yeah, go ahead.
That's
Sorry.
the same date that the Strain comes out.
Yeah. So they're doing a lot of awesome stuff.
Right Stuff has a lot of really good prices compared to places like Amazon and even the direct stuff from Funimation. So I actually got Shakugan no Shana Season 2 a long time ago at least, I think it was like 33% off of what Amazon was charging it. So if you want to find a good place to find anime at a respectable price, Right Stuff is really a good choice.
Yeah. And like I said, they're usually at least 10% off of Amazon's price, and especially if they're doing their sales. Right now, the sale, go get it. I was looking at like manga that I was like, I need to fill in my collection. I don't have all of Hellsing manga yet. I've read it all, but I want the physical copy of it. And I was like, okay, so each one of these is probably about $7 a piece, and then plus 20% off. And of things. So there's two things for you today to go spend your money on: the Humble Bundle and Right Stuff's current summer sale. So, with 7 minutes remaining in this podcast, is there any final words? What would you like on your tombstone? Pepperoni, cheese, sausage, maybe?
I eat too many Tombstone pizzas, but it's so good.
Nothing
One right
wrong.
now.
Pizza's the only real food on Earth.
Yes. I mean, I eat fake food, but it's still fake.
I mean, you guys know where to find me. I'm Post Mesmeric on the YouTubes, Post Mesmeric on Twitter, Tumblr. I post a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of it related to Two Best Friends Play, and I post stupid stuff, and they reblog it all the time. And I'm like, why did you reblog this stuff? It's so dumb. I just photoshopped Pat's face on over that seagull with the biceps and the real or fake ads, and I'm like, everyone loves it.
That's
But,
legitimately awesome, sir. Don't discredit yourself for that.
Well, I guess, but you can follow me there. I am gonna. I have footage. If you haven't seen my Rave Master Special Attack Force Mez play, that was where I bash on Fairy Tail all the time because Fairy Tail's boring. But I mean, I made the video and a friend of mine watched it, and he says, "Yeah, you talked to you." I think it was Grim. Grim said you bash on Fairy Tail like 20 times in that video, and I'm like, I know, because it's not very good. but I'm going to try and have another Mez play up this week. Vigigames, I'm not sure about. I have the footage captured for the Mez play. I just need to find time to edit it. Although that might be hard. Josh, Ray Tog, Josh.
I am a lot of nowhere for the most part. I have a Facebook, which I don't frequent very often. I have an email that hasn't actually made it down into the bottom here yet because I'm new host.
You'll get there.
I'll get there. I'm running around as Raytog on Evindria server in WildStar, which is probably going to happen eventually tonight. And if nothing else, if you're in the Wheeling area, I'm making the news heaven at WTRF. So CBS, ABC, and Fox. So I make that happen. That's where I am. I'm in your TV.
So you're the reason that I have to watch all these stupid infomercials all the time?
If you're watching at a late hour, then yeah, I'm the reason that you do that, because you know what? We need to fill some time. That's exactly what it is. There's nothing better in the world when you need to fill time than Michelle Obama, because she did so many PSAs. It's out with health. It's hilarious. But yeah.
You need to get a Twitter account.
I'll
and
never
use it, unlike Jeremy.
Never use it. I will
Jeremy
never...
has a Twitter account, and we tag him, and people are following him, even
Yeah.
though he does nothing.
No, he does nothing.
I could be probably talked into getting a Twitter account. I'll probably not do a whole lot of stuff with that, except for the stuff that comes of, the stuff that comes off of this show. But you never know. I mean, if something goes up, if I get my YouTube channel rolling, if I have anything interesting to do on YouTube, which is really the question, maybe I'll get that going. But for now, got an email, got a Facebook, and I'm in your TVs. That's it.
In your TVs.
He's watching you watch.
He is. I have to monitor the ratings.
So, as always, you can find us here 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays for, well, today was kind of like a half hour later because I couldn't get any of my, like, headphones or my speakers to work at some point. I just borked it. I was just like, I don't know how this works. I don't know. Normally I'm very tech savvy, but today I was just like, I tried doing the plugging in, plugging back out again, and it was just not working. Nothing was working. So.
But it eventually did work.
It eventually did work, because I can hear you now. So we're good. We're good. But you can find...
Subscribe to this channel
yes!
so you can make more videos.
Do that. Yes.
Well, when you say subscribe to this channel, this video technically is live on twitch.tv/Elmirmiel and then goes on to Power Button. So, yes, subscribe to both. Subscribe to everything.
Everything except Funimation.
Except for Funimation.
Yeah, don't air
yes.
this on Funimation streaming service.
That's true. Oh, I'm just gonna get such flack for, like, calling out Funimation.
No, you won't. A lot of people don't like Funimation.
That's what the internet's
It's
for.
true.
Standing up and saying what no one else will if, you know, we weren't anonymous-ish.
That's true.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you can mainly contact me through Twitter right now. So at almirmiel is my Twitter handle. I like talking to you peeps. So if you send me a message, feel free. Awesome. Hang out. And then we will catch you next week. Which we should have Carthnell back for, or is that the week after? I think that might be the week after.
Maybe we'll see. He might
We'll
show
see.
up. Never know.
Maybe.
I know Grim snuck in, didn't he? Because he
Not
said
today.
he might. Oh, because I saw something on Twitter from him that said that.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter, but he's not here today.
Oh.
Someone told me to
He's
wear
a
a V for
defector.
Vendetta mask next time. A
Mask.
Vox mask, I totally would. I would
This
come
could
up
be
in
weird.
a mask. But until next time, guys, hopefully we shall see you again. Bye-bye!
Thanks for watching.
Thank
Of
you
course.
for watching.